and welcome to Casual Buddhism. I'm Cindy Rossico, author of Finding Venerable Mother, and also disciple of Venerable Dhammananda Bhikkhuni. Venerable Dhammananda is the first fully ordained Theravada nun in Thailand, and she joins us every week. She will join today with Faith Adiele, and Faith is our guest, and they will be joining in a casual conversation, and let's turn it over to Faith and see where our discussion goes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. I've written so much about the status of women in Thailand, and so this is just a real honor for me. And one of the things that I do a lot here is I work with marginalized groups. So what we're calling BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous, Native American, people of color, Latino, Asian, also queer and trans people, and women and immigrants. So the people who are kind of cut out of the American narrative. And I work with them on creative writing and also in just different organizations where we try to create new structures that are nonviolent in the way that we deal with each other, mindfulness in all the principles. And I have a two-part question because one of the struggles of doing this work, even though I really love it, is that so many people are dealing with depression and mental health issues as a result of the system that they've grown up in. And I think the pandemic is making things worse. A lot of people have insecurity about where they're going to live, food, there are the racial politics. And so it becomes challenging to do this work. And I've also found that when we ask for help, particularly as Black women, if we say we're having mental health issues, people don't believe us or they become very angry. And instead of getting help, you get the opposite of that. So that is one of my concerns, like how do you take care of yourself and how do you take care of other marginalized people around issues of mental health, and how can Buddhism help with that?
We always feel the colored people. I am colored, right. And when I come to the West, the way they look at me, I could feel how you feel. Yes. In Canada, particularly, once I visited a friend of mine in Canada, but in different area from where I lived, and the Western people who live around there said something like this: "Oh, don't let us see Asian faces around here." I could have I had direct experience of being minority.
Yes.
And I could feel that, I could feel the hurt. So in that situation, what we can do is to help the depressed materially first. That's what they need. They are hungry. You don't talk about things spiritual when their stomach is empty. So whatever we can do, reach out to them. We didn't have when we started last year, when the COVID came so suddenly, the lockdown was so sudden. People who live on a daily income, they really have difficulties because they could not face the next day. No work, no money. So the way we reach out, we also did not have. In the temple, I sent out, someone to buy rice, only 2 sacks, and we start scooping out this into small bags in order to give each family 2 kilos of rice. Someone, this age, it goes viral, and this photo somehow was posted somewhere, and one man sitting comfortably in his house, he said he could not stand any longer to see old nuns scooping out rice to distribute to people. So he came in the next week with truckload of rice, 600 kilos.
Oh, wow.
Every week. Faith, every week. And can you imagine, up till now, this same man has given us more than 10,000 kilos of rice so that we could distribute to people. So we should not say we don't have. Mm-hmm. We have the ideas, we have the heart, Our heart is always full. If we are practicing Buddhism, our heart should always be full of loving kindness and compassion. Express it in your way of doing, by words, by action. And that's how it gets, how to say, contagious. Faith. It's contagious. You know, you start doing something and then people agree that what you do is right. What you do is something to be supportive. He could not do it himself. So he brought in to enable us to do. So when we start, don't say we don't have. We have our heart. You know, we have our heart to serve this. Do in the capability, in the capacity that we could do. And then someone will come in. Someone will come in, someone who has the same heart, the same mentality, the same space in their heart for compassion, for loving kindness. They will come in and they will help, they will support. And, you know, we not only feeding the people, Faith, we also feed the dogs. Feed the dogs on the street, because once the lockdown, you know, no one came to this community, no one came to the school, so the dogs get hungry. So we, on a weekly basis, one of our volunteers, you know, usually she would go out and feed about 50 dogs. So that is also in our how to say, in our limited capability to reach out to people. But we still do in our own capacity. In Thailand, as you know, Faith, you have been here, we have something like 26,000 temples in the country. Yet this small female temple was the first one to start doing it. I could say, because we have the data to back up our statistic of what we do. Yes. So slowly, but people start getting to realize what we do. And there are people, you know, who really have good hearts, but they don't have their own way. They themselves cannot do, or they themselves do not believe that they can do. But that idea is there. That heart, that compassionate heart is there, and it's connected. It's connected.
With this conversation, is it triggering any thoughts that will help you in relating with your community?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I can let things go, but like if I'm in charge of an organization and there are people doing things, misbehaving, treating people poorly because they themselves are very wounded, but they're not in a place where they can actually see that. I mean, I do spend a lot of time trying to listen to people and talk to them, make them feel heard, and you know, trying not to be hurt by their behavior personally. But it takes a lot of time, and then sometimes someone's just not ready to move, and so then I have to figure out what's best for the whole organization. I might have to make a difficult decision to protect the most people. Because all of these things take a lot of time, I think.
True.
You know, to be mindful takes time.
True. And also, Faith, or one thing that I find it is helpful for me, at least, is what they call listening meditation. So often when you listen to something, you know, you listen to someone saying something, I would say, oh, how stupid you are. You know, already I would put myself, you know, judging. I'm already judging. So just allow time, maybe allow time to truly listen, so that they can express from their context. You know, sometimes we don't get to understand their context. That's why we don't understand their problem. You know, allow them to speak. Allow them to speak. Sometimes, you know, I'm so hot-tempered, you know, and I couldn't wait. I would say, oh, why did you do that? You're so stupid. And that does not help.
Right. I love that idea of listening as a meditation. I think that's really helpful.
Thank you. Well, we've gone over a little bit, but I wanted to hear from everyone a little bit more and probe a little bit deeper I want to thank you, Faith, for being here. And of course, thank you, Venerable, for being with us this week. And it's wonderful to see you both. And I would just say, continue along the path, that we all continue along the path. And we're all doing really a lot more sometimes than we realize. So give ourselves credit. And thank you for joining us tonight and being a guest, Faith and Venerable. And you can contact me, and I would love to have you be a guest on Casual Buddhism. So you can contact me through my website, cindyrosico.com. So thank you both, and wish you all well.
Thank you.
So Faith, we have actually only started our conversation.
Yes.
But with time limitation, we understand.
Yes. Yes, of course. Thank you so much.